So this girl proceeds to tell me how the HR lady who keeps on telling me confidential offboard, her and the HR girl were actually friends before she started working at the company. Now, they go out to lunch sometimes, they chat, they text, they call, they hang out outside of work. The girl who's about to get fired, she was chatting with her friend that works in HR. And she was telling her that she was so excited, she just got a raise, and they were celebrating, you know, it was like a happy moment. Somehow, some way, the HR girl goes back to my boss and tells my boss about the conversation that, oh, she was discussing her pay.
If you work in cybersecurity, IM, or IT, you all know you have to interact with HR on certain things, especially when it comes to offboarding. Now, I haven't watched most of this beginning of this video, maybe like 2 or 3 seconds of it, where she stated that somebody's being offboarded and they're the IT manager. And I was like, ooh, this is going to be good. And I also saw a follow-up video from her that she got fired for this video. So we're going to react to this video, see what she did, what was wrong, and then we'll probably try to get to when she got fired video as well. So without further ado, let's get to it.
Okay, so get this. So there's this girl at work who's about to get fired. As the IT manager, I always know about any onboards or offboards before they happen because they want to make sure that I revoke access to their emails, and they want me to make sure that they're locked out of certain things so that nobody who's getting fired can go back and like shoot a company-wide email or anything like that. So I'm one of the first people to know when somebody's going to be onboarded or offboarded so that I can prepare their computer and their access and so on and so forth. So my boss, who is a super BITCH, and the HR lady have been telling me we have an offboard coming up and this is super confidential. Nobody can know about this. And they keep saying that it's confidential, it's confidential. And I found out that the girl that they're firing, she's a really sweet girl. Like, she just got a raise, she just got promoted, like, she does a great job at work, and she's always super sweet whenever you talk to her. So I'm like, okay, something strange is going on here. Now, normally when it comes to affairs of onboards and offboards, I don't get involved. I just tell them what to do. I don't talk to the employee that is getting offboarded or whatever, just because that's not my place, that's not my job. But this particular employee that they're about to fire, she's such a sweet girl, and I've had many interactions with her where she's just been very positive and upbeat. I know that she recently got married and she recently got a raise, so I know that it's not because of her performance. I felt like something else is beneath the surface.
Okay, so right now it's a lot going on. Now, from my experience, there are some more high fidelity like offboardings, but most of the time it's very quick. Like, they do a separation of duties also to avoid all of this that's currently transpiring. So it's like moving parts. It's not just us handling everything. We're doing one part of offboarding. IAM is doing one part. Physical security is doing one part. Everybody has their own part to do, and specifically, eventually, all the stuff should be automated and have a human in the loop just to say, okay. But because of what I think is probably going to happen, I'm just going to be honest. When somebody is probably able to get fired or lay off, if you are going to say something to them, do not do it on the company's infrastructure. Do not come to TikTok and talk about it. Simply because if you go viral, it's a good chance that somebody in your company will see it. And she had to know this by making it. And yeah, I understand this stuff happens a lot. I've seen plenty of people get a raise and then in 2 weeks saying they got laid off on LinkedIn. It sucks for real. So why would you give me a raise just to lay me off? It does not make any sense to me whatsoever. But I'm curious to see what is about to come next.
Y'all, I feel like God put it on my heart to tell the girl that she's about to get fired. So I text the girl and I'm like, hey, meet me upstairs by the elevator. And she's like, Okay. So she comes upstairs. I pull her aside, like out of view. So I tell her, you're about to get fired and they're about to do it on Tuesday. This was Thursday last week.
Also, was this a company phone you text them on or what? Like, you shouldn't have did that at work. If anything, the more player thing would have been to say, hey, you want to go grab some lunch or grab drinks? You should like do something like that has nothing tied to work, so they can't say that you were in it, because HR's duty is to protect the company. So they are probably thinking right now, whenever they review this or whatever, it's okay, bet. Like, hey, they broke a policy. Now that this person has legs to stand on to possibly do a lawsuit against us from maybe like unlawful termination, all this, cool stuff. But let's keep going.
And she starts bawling. She's like so taken aback. She's like, what do you mean I'm getting fired? And I was like, I don't know the reason. All I know is that they already have your replacement. They want me to prep your computer for that replacement. And she kept on asking me, like, do you know why they're firing me? Why are they firing me? Why? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't get any of that information. They just tell me what to do with the assets. That's it. So, do you...
Also, you saying you're an IT manager and you are talking about this that you did at work, unless you hide all the stuff, you don't plan to go back and work in IT as an IT manager, it's going to be tough on you because you're already a black woman. So minority right there. And if they share this around, this realm of like working in IT and all this other stuff is very small. They got these blackball lists, all type of stuff. You are digging yourself a hole just by talking about this stuff. This is crazy.
This girl proceeds to tell me how the HR lady who keeps on telling me confidential offboard, her and the HR girl were actually friends before she started working at the company. Now, they go out to lunch sometimes, they chat, they text, they call, they hang out outside of work. The girl who's about to get fired, she was chatting with her friend that works in HR. And she was telling her that she was so excited, she just got a raise, and they were celebrating. It was like a happy moment. Somehow, some way, the HR girl goes back to my boss and tells my boss about the conversation that, she was discussing her pay, and...
Oh man, this is a big one. There was something I reacted to on TikTok a while ago where a young man ended up getting fired because he talked to all his employees, his coworkers about pay, and I think he might have either been not getting paid the most or whatever. And then even recently, if you guys are familiar with Cybershortieee, she was talking about the stuff with Perscalis and how she found out that she was getting underpaid and the other guy who didn't have even the certs or the stuff that she was doing was getting paid more than her, how that caused a whole whirlwind about that whole contract, and it was just a mess. You have to realize in corporate, it's really tough. It's only a few people you really can call friends, and when it comes to women, you know that your stuff is finicky. I'm willing to bet that this person with this raise makes more than this HR person. Your HR person, you have to draw the line. Don't talk to them about anything that's related to work because they're going to go back and tell. Even though they thought they were actually discussing something to you in comfort or, no. The word that people like to use, not comfort. In confidence, they thought they expressed something to you about their pay because they were happy. This is why you got to find your own friends that don't work at your company that you work at and talk to them about the pay, because they can't go to your boss and say, oh, they was talking to me about how much they was getting paid and yada, yada, yada. Like, nah. And honestly, me even hearing that, I would have just said, I don't care. I really don't care, bro. Like, she didn't break no rules. It's okay for her to tell you about that. You're in HR. Y'all can go look at the stuff and payroll and all that kind of stuff.
One thing led to another, and the boss calls the girl who's about to get fired into her office. So my boss is telling her, why were you discussing that you got a pay raise? You shouldn't be doing that. And she really ripped into her. And the girl was like, oh, I apologize. I didn't realize that I wasn't able to discuss getting a pay raise. As a matter of fact, when the HR girl, my friend, got a raise, we had a very similar conversation where we were both celebrating and I didn't see anything wrong with it. And she says, ever since that conversation, things have been strange. Neither one of them want to talk to her. They both have kind of been avoiding her. They haven't been as friendly. And now she's getting fired. Y'all, corporate America is nothing to play with. I've seen people undercut, backstab. I've seen people do some conniving, evil things, thinking that it's going to benefit their position in the company, or maybe help them with a pay raise, or maybe help them get close to somebody who can better their circumstance. And I have seen some cutthroat, heartless, cold individuals just do some very disgusting things. And this situation is one of them. So my intention here was just to tell the girl ahead of the weekend so that she could prepare herself, so that she could gather any evidence that might work in her favor, because I feel like specifically in this case, they know that they have some damning evidence against them, which is why they kept on telling me it's confidential, it's confidential, it's confidential. The HR girl knows that she said some things that could possibly incriminate her, so she wants to make sure that she catches this girl off guard. It's about to go down. So I text my girl, cause she's my girl now. I texted her this morning. I was like, hey, happy firing day. Like, I hope you're ready. I hope you got all the evidence that you need. Make sure.
Hold on, man. Hang on real quick. Cause why would you?
I beg your pardon?
Why would you text somebody that when they're about to get fired? Who does that? Is this story even real now at this point, or is it all parody? Let's keep going.
When you walk in there, you hit the record button. Because we're both interested to know what reason they're going to have to fire her. And my girl, she ready, okay? She said if they don't come with the severance package, if they're not paying out my benefits through the end of June, I'm not signing anything. If they refuse severance, I'm going to ask HR why they're refusing severance. I'm also going to ask for a written note where they say they're not going to contest my unemployment. I said, yes, girl. You understood the assignment. So let me.
Now, most people don't have no heads up on when they're going to get laid off. But if you do, what Shorty doing in her bag about all these different things? I know she went on Claude and said, what I need to do, I'm about to get laid off, what I need to do. Hey, hold them to the fire, because at the end of the day, them still paying enough of your salary, not the whole thing, is still cheaper than paying a year of your salary. So, hey, get your money. Like, get your money for real. All right, let's get back into it.
I'm about to go to work. I feel so happy because I gave somebody that empowerment. I remember when I got fired once before, how it felt. I felt so unprepared walking into that conversation, and I really wanted her to just take this opportunity to prepare herself. So, like and follow for part 2.
All right, so as we see there, I think that we need to go ahead and go into the second video, but a couple of things, IT, security, whatever, certain things you cannot talk about, even though she didn't implicitly say where she worked at or what, but she implicated herself in a lot of things that would pretty much be going against the best interest of the company, even though she really was doing morally what is right. But when it comes to HR and the company wise, it's not, because they can view this as, oh, this is ammo. They can be sued on this and have to pay out money. So that is the way why they probably looking at it like that. So you definitely don't want to do anything like this if you plan on staying working at the company. Now, if you already know you're finna be out of there and you don't care, I believe she's married. I think I saw a ring on the finger. I do notice that women who are married in corporate will take more risk than single ones, because most of the time they have a partner that can help out if things get rocky. So that is a great benefit. But for the most part, she definitely did a lot of stuff that she's not supposed to do. But at the end, I hope that the chick that got fired, did she get what she's supposed to get? And so, guys, I'm actually going to end it right here. So, because we're going to do this like a to be continued, because I think it'll add a little bit more suspense on what's going to happen on the next video versus making this like mad long, because we already covered everything she did wrong. So don't text anybody, especially hopefully you're not doing it on company-owned assets. And these two chatty patty women already have the ability to go back and say who said what. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if you said, hey, so-and-so IT manager told me you guys was going to lay me off. And so threw her under the bus. You know, because at the end of the day, if you're going to fire me, fire me. But if I'm going to go down, everybody going to go down. I ain't got no loyalty to nobody. Until next time, it's your boy HD, and we out. Stay textual. Peace.